Mayong adlaw sa tanan, welcome sa tuang programa nga Reaksyon at Diskurso. Ako si Hannah Mage Picsho. In this episode, let's take a step back from the chaos of Philippine politics and shift our attention to an issue that has quietly taken a back seat with the recent impeachment proceedings of our Vice President. Usa ka issue na sobra ka-alarming ug kailangan pud gyud nato istoryahan. In recent weeks, the country has witnessed a series of school shooting incidents that have left many Filipinos shocked. How do we prevent these tragedies? What warning signs should we be looking for? Ug unsa ang role sa mental health? To help us better understand these important issues, we are joined today by Dr. Arlene Resano, a fellow in training of child and adolescent psychiatry, who will share expert insights and guide us through this difficult but necessary conversation. Doc, good day and welcome to the program.
Good day po.
Salamat. Thank you for giving us your time. I'm sure busy ka karon, Doc, no? But as I've said, this is an issue that has alarmed, no, a lot of Filipinos. And yet, dili kayo siya na istoryahan gyud in depth, Doc. So, let's go straight to the point, Doc. So, in a matter of days, duha ka makapakurat nga insidente no ang nahitabo involving minors in the Philippines. First is of course the school shooting in Tacloban, and the second is ang stabbing incident sa Cavite. As a psychiatrist, Doc, unsa ba ang misulod sa imuhang hunahuna, no? What was the first thing that you thought of when you heard this news?
When I heard of the news, actually the news, I became aware of the news through Facebook, social media. Videos were shared at that time. So my first thought was, what happened? No, my first thought was knowing the backstory, because it's important first that we know the details with regards to certain incidents such as this before making assumptions. So although there was a bit of shock, but that was my thought at the time. What happened? Why this thing transpired, or why did it happen?
For when you first heard of the news, Doc, no, what concerns immediately came to mind?
My concerns at that time was, of course, for the victims,
Yes.
because they were minors, but at the same time, the shooters in that incident were also minors. So
Yes.
both concerns for both the victims and the shooters, as well, of course, as those other individuals who may have been affected, no? Yung students sa school, at the same time, the teachers or the staff, and then, of course, the parents who were at home, most likely, nung nangyari yung incident.
So when we talk about school shootings, Doc, no, I think we're both of the same mind. When we say school shootings, parang sa Amerika lang natin naririnig yun. And it's the first time, I think, that the Philippines, no, has received news like this, no, na may school shooting sa atin. So in your perspective, Doc, do you think these are isolated incidents, or do you think is this an ongoing social change in the Philippines?
Yes, it's an isolated case. I think, to my knowledge, this is the first time that I've heard of a shooting in school. But at the same time, though isolated case siya, I think, no, at this level, it already has to be addressed properly.
So, we've seen the videos, Doc, no, the shooting in Tacloban and the stabbing incident in Cavite, and a lot of Filipinos are really aghast in the level of violence, no, from these minors. So, my question now, Doc, is what is the cause of these violent actions from this aggression sa mga minors natin?
The cause of aggression among minors or in an individual, no, we couldn't really say na iisang factor lang siya, no, that would cause such behavior or such acts, no. So there are different factors. There could be individual factors, there could be social factors, and at the same time, no, there could be factors related sa pinagdadaanan ng mga batang ito, no? So, multifactorial siya. Hindi siya parang one factor would lead to such action.
When we say social factors, Doc, what are these?
Social or community factors, no? So, they would involve exposure to violence, even economic hardships, no? could predispose. There could be access to weapons.
Okay.
It's one. And of course, if they're going through something in their mental health, and then limited yung access sa services, that could be one factor.
So, ang dami ding nagsasabi, Doc, na murag gadaghan daw ang violent incidents, no, involving minors. And based on your experience, Doc, is this true, or is it just na mas visible lang siya ngayon because of social media? Have you had any experiences with violence with minors in your practice as a psychiatrist?
As to the number,
Yes.
I am not sure whether there's a data that could really say that over the past years or so, the numbers has increased. But in my training, I have encountered violence involving minors before. But for the shooting, none so far. No, ibang incident siya. No. While we don't know the trend at this time, still no, it really has to be addressed immediately because we want to prevent things like this to happen again.
Compared sa Doc, compared to the other violent incidents no that you've mentioned, na usual nating narinig from minors, no. How is these incidents with the school shooting and school violence, how is it different ba? What makes it unique
From
as
the
an
ones I've
incident?
handled
Yes,
before.
yes.
The ones I've handled before in my training, this would usually involve adolescents, no, or teens, and the cases happened or transpired within the family.
Okay.
But the shooting, no,
So not in school.
not in school siya, but the shooting sa school kasi sila nangyari.
So, you mentioned kanina, Doc, the adolescent, you're dealing with adolescents, and these are teenagers, no? Yung mga violent incidents, these are done by teenagers. So, I just want to get an insight, Doc. What happens ba inside the adolescent brain? How is it different from the adult brain or a kid's brain? How is it different?
Yung adolescent brain, it's still developing.
Okay.
So, may mga areas or parts ng brain na hindi pa siya nagmamature. No? More specifically yung tinatawag nating prefrontal cortex. Ito yung part ng brain or yung area ng brain that is involved sa judgment, decision making, no, impulse control. So during the teenage years, hindi pa siya ganun ka-mature. And at the same time, the area of the brain focus on the emotions. Kumbaga, mas sensitive siya, mas nauuna siya, as well as sa reward. That's why, no, if you would see adolescents would act mostly based on their emotions, and then they would be engaged in doon sa mga thrill-seeking na activities.
Oh, okay, I see. I think I've also seen some comments, Doc, no, na in some articles saying na there is this thing called normal teenage rebellion, kumbaga. As you've said, they're impulsive, very sensitive, more emotion-oriented. Pero how is the normal teenage rebellion, Doc, different sa dangerous behavior that these teenagers have exhibited dun sa incidents?
Teenagers could manifest with impulsivity. Kasi nga, yun yung sabi ko kanina, their brains are still developing. However, what would make the difference would be yung frequency ng ginagawa nila itong behavior na to, if it's very often, no? And at the same time, ano yung nagiging consequence ng actions nila, no? Is there harm done to self? Is there harm done to others? So ano yung degree, no? Or result nung ginagawa nila.
Is peer approval, Doc, or peer pressure, what role does it play in a teenager's life?
In the same way, doon kanina na nagmamature yung brain, very important yung tinatawag nating peer approval during teenage years, no? So, if, kumbaga, they feel that they are accepted among their peers, no? So, they would feel rewarded. So, during the teenage years. That's why, very important sa kanila, if you notice, sometimes teenagers would really prefer to, halimbawa, spend time more with friends compared with their families. Kasi, it's a part of their development or part siya nung stage na yun sa buhay nila.
Parang they want to be accepted, by
yeah.
their peers.
Yes.
So you've mentioned kanina, Doc, yung impulse control, no? The adolescent brain is more prone to impulsive decisions, no? Do you think, Doc, poor impulse control, does it automatically lead to violence? Or, pero meron naman ding mga ibang teenagers, no? They never cross that line.
I don't think na just because one may have concerns when it comes to impulse control, automatic, agad-agad, nagiging violent yung isang tao. So, I don't think so. Na-associated siya agad-agad to violence yung impulse control. But, it could be a risk, no? When one has poor impulse control, it could be a risk for him or her to have violent tendencies.
Ang dami ding tao, Doc, no, na nag-a-assume na these violent offenders, they automatically have mental illness. So is that true, Doc, or how often is it na yung mga violent offenders they have a psychiatric concern?
Not all the time.
Okay.
No. In fact, most people with mental health conditions or mental health illnesses are not violent.
Okay.
Studies would show na nagiging victim sila ng violent from other people. So, but of course, no, if one would manifest with violent behavior, an evaluation should be made because there is always that possibility na mayroong underlying na psychiatric condition or mental health condition.
You mentioned, Doc, na most people living with mental illness are actually not violent. Can you explain that more, Doc? Can you expound it for our viewers?
Not all mental health illnesses or conditions are characterized by violent behavior. And at the same time, they could manifest with that, but majority hindi, no. And at the same time, when they are undergoing medications, therapy, so nako-control yung behavior.
Because I think that's also one of the biggest misconceptions, Doc, na sometimes nalilabel din yung mga people suffering from mental illness. They're labeled as yun yung kinakatakutan. But apparently, it's not automatic na if you have you're suffering from a mental illness, does not automatically mean that you have violent tendencies.
Yes, I would agree to that. In fact, yung mga assumptions na yon that when one has mental illness, nagiging violent siya, it also affects the health-seeking behavior of people. Like, halimbawa, when they feel that something is going on, halimbawa, when they feel that there are changes sa thoughts nila, sa behavior nila, because of that stigma, no? So, it could stop them from actually seeking help.
So, it does more harm than good,
Yeah.
Doc, no? Sometimes kasi we are biased or prejudiced due to being unaware and uneducated when it comes to mental health. We automatically assume that. But as you've said, na it affects the parang it feeds the stigma, and minsan nahihiya na lang yung person to seek help because of these labels. But now I want to go on to the family environment, Doc, no? Because as you've mentioned kanina, it's one of the factors of these violent tendencies with teenagers. How big ba, Doc? How big is the role of the family sa emotional development ng isang bata?
The family really plays a central role, no? Malaki yung role ng family sa emotional development ng bata. In fact, sa development niya as a whole, no? So, behaviors are still first observed siya talaga sa bahay. So, halimbawa, there are already identified concerns at an early age. Pag nasa bahay, nakita na to. So, ma-address na siya agad-agad, no? And there are factors din sa family that could affect yung bata. Halimbawa, the presence of trauma in the family, the presence of abuse, no? So, ito yung mga ilang factors na nakaka-apekto sa bata growing up.
Can you walk me through a child's brain, Doc, no? When a child what happens to a child's brain psychologically if nakaka-experience siya ng domestic violence, for example, neglect, harsh punishment, or poor communication within the family. What happens? What changes psychologically?
Pag nakaka-experience sila or expose sila dito, of course, yung emotional security ng bata affected, no? And at the same time, not only the emotional security, yung learning process nila affected din, even how they would relate to other people or yung relationships nila sa ibang tao. So, and then the outcomes, no, pwede siyang maging long-term yung outcomes noon sa bata.
Let's move on, Doc. Kasi with these violent incidents, the first thing I think that netizens assume, no, is that yung mga bata daw who committed those violent acts, no, were bullied. No, that was the automatic assumption of the netizens na baka bully daw, maybe it was revenge, or do you think, Doc, can prolonged bullying, no, contribute to fantasies of revenge or violent tendencies?
Bullying in itself could have an emotional impact sa bata, no? Yes, it's possible na magkaroon sila ng ganong thoughts, no? But it doesn't mean agad-agad na, kumbaga, the person will become violent. No? If nakaka-encounter siya. But of course, no, bullying has to be addressed really sa school kasi nagkakaroon siya ng impact sa development ng isang bata.
Do you think bullying victims, Doc, since I think bullying is also a form of violence, no? Do you think bullying victims can eventually become perpetrators?
Yeah, that could be possible, no, that they themselves, no, would engage in such behavior. That's why dapat when we are able to identify that a child halimbawa nabully siya, so dapat may intervention na agad-agad.
I think, Doc, no, bullying it's a very old issue. It's been going on for a long time. I think before the bullying as a word, no, was even created, nangyayari na talaga siya in schools. And schools has always been the number one setting of bullying. Even I have experienced it, no. In fact, I was a few years ago when I was mutya, it was one of my advocacies na school to school, and I would always ask the students, sinong nabubully dito? They would all raise their hand, and eventually when I would ask them, sinong nagbubully? They would also raise all their hands. So I think everyone is a victim, and at the same time, everyone is a bully at the same time. So in this setting, Doc, na parang lahat na lang talaga ng schools, there seems to be no development when it comes to eradicating bullying. What do you think schools should do?
To eradicate bullying, so early detection, once halimbawa a child would report that he or she is being bullied at school, the school has to take action. And I think it would be better if the school would really come up with a certain system. Like halimbawa, a child reports being bullied, so ano yung magiging steps na i-undertake ng school. So, dapat kasi early yung intervention. Dapat kasi para hindi na maulit pa. And at the same time, hindi na mag-escalate into bigger problems yung mga nangyayari sa school.
What do you think should be the Doc, the reaction or yung dapat gagawin ng teacher? Like for example, maybe a teacher is watching now, tapos may isang estudyante siya na magre-report sa kanya with bullying. What do you think should she do?
I think when a teacher would notice that a child is being bullied at school, he or she should really talk to the child and check kung ano yung situation niya, no. I think it would also be good, no, to inform the parents na may ganoong na identify na problem sa school, and then later on, pag merong system na sa school, no, they have come up with certain rules sa bullying, so i-implement na siya. But I think the rules depende rin kung ano yung parang i-implement ng school about doon, because it would involve not only the victim or one child, but of course, no, kailangan ding i-check, no, yung batang sinasabing ng bubuli. What's going on? What's the reason?
Cause, yes.
What's the cause behind that behavior?
And as you've mentioned, Doc, as we mentioned, no, bullying as a problem is as old as time itself, no. But then here comes social media, which
Mhm.
somehow worsens bullying. Kasi ngayon may
Mhm.
cyberbullying na, and then public humiliation. And social media is so hard to, ang hirap i-delete, kumbaga, ng mga sinasabi in SOCMED. So, do you think in an adolescent's brain or in a teenager's life, how does social media affect their emotional development?
Mhm. Social media affects the adolescent's brain, no,
Mm.
in many ways. So of course, first through social media, he or she would gain access to a lot of information.
Yes.
And it's not all the time na kumbaga pwedeng hindi siya nag-guide sa
Mm.
pag-process ng mga information na to online, no? So it's a risk. At the same time, there are times wherein yung self-worth nila, yung
Mm.
self-confidence nila, depende kung ilang likes
Yes.
sa post,
Yes.
ilang hearts yung sa post nila, ilang
Mm.
shares, no? And them not getting that could affect how they perceive themselves, no?
Mm.
And third, I would agree there are online bullying. So, yung concern doon sa online bullying is that anonymous kasi. Pwedeng maging
Mm.
anonymous yung nambubully online,
Mhm.
no? So, hindi agad-agad natitrace, hindi agad malalaman, no? Yung bagay na yun. And at the same time, it could be that they themselves could post things that could hurt other people
Mm.
because they could also remain anonymous. And lastly, no, may mga ano rin, there have been reports, 'di ba, mga predators online
Yes.
wherein they would make children and adolescent do things,
Mm.
no? Dinidisguise siya as play, as task, may
Mm.
rewards when in fact these children or these adolescents are already being abused or
Mm.
exploited, no? So I think ito yung mga bagay ngayon sa social media na um, nakakaapekto. But of course, no, if we look at it, may positive din siya na impact,
Yes.
no? It's a way to express
Mm.
themselves, it's a way to communicate with parents halimbawa, no, if malayo. But, we still have to check the advantages or the benefits and at the same time the risk, no,
Mm.
ng social media use sa mga bata.
Mm. Now, Doc, I want to ask you, no, we've talked about peer approval, we've talked about validation seeking in social media.
Mhm.
How about violent tendencies, Doc, or violent acts, no,
Mhm.
violence in general? May relation ba siya or correlation to social media use? Like, for example, um, some of them, yung mga offenders natin, some of them
Mhm.
posted on social media, no, about their acts.
Mhm.
So, is this also another way of seeking validation or seeking fame or whatever
Mhm.
by in social media? Is there correlation there?
We couldn't really say na parang direct siya na
Mm.
once may exposure sa
Mm.
ganito, automatic the child will have
Yeah.
violent tendencies, no? But it could be a risk factor, no? So
See.
may possibility like halimbawa when they are continuously
Mm.
exposed, no, to such contents, aggression could be
Mhm.
normalized, no, sa mga batang ito. Yeah.
Desensitized. Parang
Ayan,
ma-desensitize sila, yes.
madesensitize sila. And then,
Sensitize.
at the same time, no, yung isang reason din doon is that online, no, 'di ba sabi ko kanina parang iba't iba yung factors that could
Mm.
lead into violence. So may mga ibang risk factors na pwede siya like the children would be exposed to those who would kumbaga exploit them, no? So that's a risk factor kasi kumbaga having traumatic experiences could be a risk factor for these children, no? And then at the same time yung mga extremist na mga
Mm.
recruitment, these are also present online. So halimbawa, doon sa mga hindi na moderate
Mm.
na gaming spaces halimbawa or mga communication platform. So there, no, anonymous pa rin kasi
Mm.
so hindi nila alam sino yung kausap nila and these
Mm.
individuals could also exploit them, no,
Mm.
give them tasks, gawin mo to, no. So may mga exposure pa rin yung mga bata, no, sa social media.
Aside from social media, Doc, there's also the violent video games. No,
Mhm.
I think we've both noticed na after sumabog yung balita about the school shooting in Tacloban and the stabbing incident in Cavite, there was reported may Senate inquiry daw. But there was a focus more on the violent video games. Parang the senators wanted to focus more on that. They wanted to invite all these creators of these games. So in your perspective, Badok, do you think violent video games is a factor, no, of violent tendencies in teenagers?
I don't think that gaming alone, no,
Okay.
is the problem. If we would set limits, halimbawa, no, and may guidance ng adult, no, through gaming, andun yung connection, andun yung creativity. I think it becomes a problem when nagiging unregulated na siya. Yun. But of course, there are games na na-expose yung mga bata, di ba? Before, there were sa Roblox, may nangyayaring mga exploitation. So, risk factor siya. But we couldn't really say na gaming itself solely is yung nagiging cause bakit nagkakaroon ng problems sa behavior ng mga bata.
And I think, Doc, no, for my opinion as well, no, if we just focus on the violent video games aspect, no, if we parang force ourselves to think that that's solely the reason, no, of these violent tendencies among minors, I think it also draws us away from the main problem, which is it could be mental health and it could be the background of these kids, no. So, yeah, I think tama yung sinabi mo na it's not the sole reason.
Yeah.
So,
There are family factors, no,
Yes.
individual factors, peer factors, their interaction with their peers, no, the environment, yung na-discuss natin kanina. And although, one identified is yung influence ng media.
And I think it's also worth noting, Doc, na ang dami namang naglalaro ng video games pero hindi naman lahat, 'di ba? Hindi naman lahat namamaril, 'di ba? It's also worth pondering about. So, I also want to talk about, Doc, at this point, no, the warning signs, no. So, what do you think, Doc? Can you give us parang an insight na may warning signs ba before violence occurs, or are there signs whatsoever?
For the signs, parang wala tayong parang ito, pag
Okay.
sign na to, automatic magiging violent siya. But of course, if we would notice sudden changes sa
Sudden change in
behavior, no, the child, halimbawa, isolating, no, would appear parang hindi na siya nag-i-interact more than the usual. Other behavior siguro na pwede nating makita, medyo more irritable than usual, changes in the mood, halimbawa, no, even sleep changes. So, kumbaga, any symptom that would point to any symptom na nagbabago, no, na parang change from the baseline behavior ng bata, no, dapat maging observant tayo doon as parents.
Do you think kailangan pa po ng like training ang mga teachers about the behaviors of teenagers?
Yes, no. And I think that's very important. No? Kasi aside sa bahay, children would really spend a lot of time in school. Minsan nga, mas matagal pa sila sa school kaysa sa bahay, no. So, better if matrain yung teacher, identification, and then yung pinaka-importante is what to do if may na-identify na ganitong signs or ganitong behaviors sa school.
From a public health perspective now, Doc, gaano po ba ka-importante ang pag-limit, no, ng access sa mga minor to firearms or other deadly weapons? Because as you've mentioned earlier na access to weapons is also one factor.
Yeah, I think, no, it's very important. No? I really am not familiar with the rules right now or yung mga batas natin doon. But kasi kailangan siyang malimit, no? Because access to that, no, it could be a risk factor din, as what we've talked earlier. So, dapat may mga may mga rules about this, may mga laws about this. And of course, some parents, halimbawa, sa bahay, no, if they have licensed firearms at home, so dapat they should make sure that the children has no access to this.
Because I think yun yung problem din sa USA. They have very relaxed rules and laws when it comes to firearms. That's why very accessible yung firearms sa kanila. And ibang level yung school shooting sa USA. I think yung sa Tacloban, pistol. It was a pistol. 9mm. But in US,
They would use longer
long arm, no?
weapons.
But again, as you've mentioned, Doc, no, at this point, kahit 2 incidents pa lang, it should be addressed na. We don't want to be the same sa US when it comes to their school shooting problems. That would be catastrophic for the Philippines. Now, we're already going through a lot of problems in the government. Kulang pa nga yung classroom sa mga schools natin. And then we have now a security issue in the schools, no? So it's a huge problem for the schools in the Philippines. So now, Doc, I want to ask, some argue, no, ang daming netizens nagsasabi na minors may feel protected with RA 9344. So from a psychiatric perspective, Doc, do you think the perception of limited consequences influence the behavior of these teenagers?
From a psychiatric perspective, yes, it could, no. So, kumbaga, yung behavior, pwede siyang maapektuhan ng perceived na consequence of that behavior. So, yes, pwede. Pwede na isa itong reason, no. But of course, study would show pa rin na hindi siya direct, no, na just because they would perceive that they could kumbaga they could get away from it, automatically they would do it, no.
Some people would say accountability, no. Accountability, justice. And some people would insist on rehabilitation, no, since bata pa daw, so kaya pa daw mag-intervene and they can change the behaviors, no. How do you think we can balance that, Doc, no? Balance accountability and justice with rehabilitation?
I think accountability and yung rehabilitation should go hand in hand, no. We teach them that they should be accountable for their actions, but at the same time, no, rehabilitation or yun nga, pwede pa rin siya. They could work hand in hand naman. So, they should go together pa rin po.
If we want to prevent these tragedies from happening again, Doc, where do you think prevention should begin?
It's a shared responsibility. No? There should be things done at home by the parents, the school, the community, no? The government, no? So, yung mga agencies na to or yung mga aspects na to sa buhay ng isang bata should really work hand in hand para ma-prevent natin yung mga bagay na to.
But in this whole situation, Doc, where do you think we failed, kumbaga, or asan tayo nagkulang? Is it in the mental health awareness? Is it in systemic failure ba sa gobyerno, or is it in the schools? Where do you think we fell short?
I think dito, no, one of the areas siguro na kailangan nating i-reinforce is the identification of the signs. Okay. That's one thing, no. And then at the same time, kumbaga yung pag-promote natin ng mental health awareness wherein if a child is struggling with something, no, we should be able to make them feel that it's okay to open up, it's okay to talk to someone, no, because with them opening up, syempre nagkakaroon ng intervention, and pag may intervention, yung mga ganitong bagay, pwede siyang ma-stop or pwede siyang matigil.
Sa schools natin, Doc, of course, we all know na medyo, what word would I use? Medyo may pagkukulang din, no, in terms of our education sector, no, in the Philippines. For example, may kulang tayo ng mga classrooms, may mga programs na hindi natin nabibigay sa mga bata, the literacy rate is a problem. You know, we have all these problems in education in the Philippines. Now, my question now, Doc, is how do you think, parang, for example, a teacher, no, reality lang, Doc, no, a teacher has, siguro one teacher would handle how many subjects in a day? 3 subjects. And then sa public schools, may shifting pa of classes, no? So probably handle 200 students in a term, no? how do you think would that be possible, Doc? Na, for example, ako yung teacher and I would handle all these students. How would I detect early
Mhm.
signs? And in the in the student's case naman, Doc, baka yung pamilya niya or yung parents niya nagtatrabaho palagi, so morning to night work, and then may night shift pa, you know. So what do we do in this situation?
Yeah, I think isa 'yun sa mga difficulties no with the detection kasi there are schools na very limited
Yes.
yung mga manpower nila
Mm.
no. Um so in that cases, I think this has to be isang root cause doon siguro is yun nga sa education no. Better teacher to student ratio, yung mga ganon, pwede siya para at least mas nabibigyang
Yeah.
pansin, no, napagtutuunan yung ng pansin yung mga teachers, yung students, pag may mga ganitong cases, na-detect agad, no. It would also be good to have guidance counselors in school, no. I think schools, they would have designated guidance counselors at times, no, but some of these are actually teachers, no. So, and then at the same time, trainings pa rin, no. Them being informed what to look for, what to do if meron. So, makakatulong din siya. But I think, no, I would agree with you na yung ibang problems or concerns sa educational system natin, kailangan talaga siyang ma-address din.
Yeah, that's why it's so alarming, no, this problem. Kasi as I've mentioned kanina, Doc, ang dami na nating problema sa educational system ng Philippines. No? I have an NGO and we work directly with kids, no, and we see yung ibang schools, no, very very poor. Like there's this one school in the mountains, no, na they don't have a roof, for example, and then 100 kids in one small classroom, wala pang light. You know, ganito na environment, no, we have these very big problems in our educational system. And then we're suddenly introduced with another problem, and now it's violence. When we think about it, may ibang estudyante pa na they struggle to make ends meet, no? They struggle to go to school every day kasi yung iba walang learning materials, yung iba pinapatrabaho na ng parents, no? And now we are now introduced with another reason for kids not to go to school. So now my question, I will ask a message from you na lang, Doc, no? As a psychiatrist, as someone who has experience in dealing with adolescents and teenagers, what is your message now, Doc, to the parents who are very concerned with their kids, no? Kasi they drop off their kids at school expecting them to come back alive and well, but now even that is a mystery, no? That is a concern now. And your message to teachers as well, Doc, na they're also very concerned as well for their students. Yung iba nga nagsasabi na mag-bulletproof vest na lang daw sila papunta ng school. Oo. And and finally, Doc, I want to ask a message from you for the young people who may be struggling emotionally now.
Um, to the parents, the teachers, I mean to the students as well, and I think this also applies to everyone. It would always be good to prioritize our mental health. No? Kumbaga, mental health does not only apply to one individual. No? So, lahat-lahat. No? Teachers would have their mental health concerns, parents, no? Especially sa mga ganitong nangyayari. No? Parents would really be worried sa pagpunta ng children nila sa school. No? Children themselves would also have mental health concerns dahil sa mga nangyayari ito. No? The fear of going to school, no? At the same time, yung it could really affect yung learning process nila, no? Dahil sa mga nangyayari ito. I think, no, my message would be if, halimbawa, no, they would notice, no, changes sa emotions nila, sa feelings nila, no, or they would have any mental health concerns, it would always be good to reach out. No? And for us naman, let us learn to listen without judgment. Whenever someone would halimbawa express, no, na meron silang mga concerns sa mental health nila, because sometimes you would overlook. No? So it would always be good to create safe spaces wherein people could really express themselves and they could ask help, no, whenever they need.
Very correct, Doc. I agree with everything you just said. No? Listen without judgment, create safe spaces. I think this is, at the end of it all, mauni siya ang root no, of all the problems that we have now. It's all a mix of a failure in the educational system, a failure in the part of the government, and there's also kakulangan in the mental health awareness campaign that we have, and it all led to this incident that happened in Tacloban and Cavite. So thank you so much, Doc Arlene. Thank you for giving us time here at Reaksyon at Diskurso, for giving us your insights, no, para naman din for the parents out there, teachers, no, and of course the students, no. I'm sure they're all very worried, no. They have a lot of questions, and some of them are unanswered. So somehow, I'm sure na some of their questions are now answered when it comes to the mental health and the emotional landscape of adolescent brain and how it relates to violence. So thank you so much, Doc, for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much din po sa pag-invite sa akin dito. Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much, Doc Arlene Resano, Fellow in Training of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. My name is Hannah Mage Picsho para sa Reaksyon at Diskurso. Until next time.